All right, let's take these wheel wells out. Well, that works really good, seeing as though they're nearly rounded off from all the rust. All right, last bolt, and I'm not going to have my gourd underneath there. Not too much anyway. All right, get the dirt out of the ears. There we go. Easy peasy. That's a bit rusty inside there. I'm gonna have to work on that, clean it up. Looks like I'll use some seam sealer probably to put in between. Gotta take this bolt out that I have in there just temporarily. Holding up the rail. Crawling under there for that. Okay. This one actually is not too bad, but since I'm replacing one, I'll replace them all, and both. It's rusted along the edges here and here. It's bent up, dinged up, 50 years of use. All right, let me see if I can get you guys in there. Take a look at that before my GoPro overheats. Let's take a look. Because it's getting hot in this sweat box. I'm gonna get a thermometer and put it in here somewhere, right about there, I bet. Because when it's 100 degrees outside, man, I'm guessing darn close to 120 in here. So a little bit of rust. It looks like I could wire wheel that, take away most of the rust, put some primer in there. Last night I did the task of lightly sanding and applying 3 or 4 coats of undercoating. That way I'm not spraying undercoating while it's on and getting it all over everything. But what I am going to do is I'm going to clean up these wheel wells, and I am going to, I think I'm going to undercoat that now. It has a pretty thick undercoating on it, but I need to clean it up. I'll clean that up, undercoat it. I'm going to get all this in here done. Once I take the boards back off, I'll sand that lightly, spray some rust mort on there. Actually, here's what I have. This came with, I think this was sold alongside the Pour 15. This rust converter. Basically just brush it on and let it do its thing and it turns black. And then it's a paintable surface. And I would like to convert the rust to keep it from going and then put the Pour 15 on top. I'll read the instructions again just to be sure. So anyway, the plan is then, see all these bed strips are brand new. Now that that's off, well, I need to take that bolt out. But basically, then I can slide these in, drill all the holes that I need to drill for them. And there's another story. So I ordered the bed strip kit. I'm not going to say where, because I'm thinking you're going to get the same customer service pretty much no matter where you go these days. So I ordered the bed strip kit. And whether it was my fault or their fault, what I got was a step side bed strip kit and not a fleet side bed strip kit. So what's the difference in the two? Well, the difference in the two is that the fleet side comes with some short pieces like this that go here. The step side does not have those. So I called up this very reputable company and I said, hey, I got the wrong kit. Oh, okay, no problem, send it back. No, I'm not going to spend almost what it costs for the kit to send it back. What I would like for you to do, now just think about this, open up the proper kit, send me the 4 pieces. Keep what you have, I'll pay the difference, and you can sell it as a step side kit. You would think I had just given them the equation for gravity. A couple of people later, and basically the answer was, no, just send us back the one you have and we'll send you a new one. I said, why? Just send me the 4 little pieces. I'll keep what I have. You can sell what you have as a step side kit. Just relabel it. No. That there is the definition of a job's worth. They take orders, they put them in the computer, they could care less about anything other than what's on the screen in front of them. To think outside the box and do something so simple to save both of us a lot of money was way beyond their capability. So anyway, so I purchased 2 strips. But the only way you could purchase 2 strips is to get them without the holes in. Well, that's not a big deal. I've got a drill press. What I will do is I will take this one out and then I will cut the pieces, line them up with this, mark the holes, drill them, and put it all together. Causes me a little bit more work than if I had the proper pieces, but all right, no biggie. Okay. My GoPro is flashing, it's heating up. I'm going to shut this one off. I'll take the other fender well off and we'll come back. Well, good morning everybody. Today was supposed to be an early start day. Well, that didn't happen. Yeah, last night was a little different, you know, coughing post-COVID and whatnot. Oh well. Anyway, so we've got the bed sanded. The bed sides, I should say, sanded. I'm going to tap out a couple of dents. Then I'm not going to, I think I'm just going to touch this up a little bit with the with the self-etching primer, because it might be a year or so before I get a chance to actually sand this down for paint and primer. Actually, I'll epoxy it, so it'll all need to come off. I think if I just spray a little bit of the self-etching primer on here, it will preserve it. Just going to touch up some corners that I didn't get to. I missed one of the rail boxes over there. I'll spray some primer, and then the Rhino liner will go in. All right, stay tuned. I might not record the spraying depending on how bad the overspray is. I just really don't want to get it on my camera, so I might give you just this before and then the after. We'll see. All right, what we're going to do now is just rub over this a little bit with some 320, because I'm going to be spraying the primer on this. We want some good mechanical adhesion as well as chemical adhesion. So we'll just scuff it up a little bit. And then after this, we want to wash it down with some water-based wax and grease remover, because who knows what they put on here prior to shipping. Some water-based wax and grease remover. And then just before we spray it, we'll wipe it down with some paint thinner. I don't want to take all this stuff off, I just want to scuff it up. Just like that. And we'll do the same with this one. The edges I don't want to do because I have sprayed undercoating on that. And this whole thing is going to be a little bit tricky because I've got the undercoating on already. I need to put some primer on the bare spots where I put the patches in on the bedside, and I need to put it together and spray the bed liner, and all that without overlapping it. I don't know. I'm not a painter. I'm probably doing this all wrong, but I'm doing it myself. It's saving a fortune and hopefully going to make it look good. We shall see. It doesn't take a lot to scuff this up. You want to get the edges and the creases so that your primer sticks. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could just sand it up, all this stuff off, but that's a lot of work for no real good reason that I know of. I wouldn't put paint right over this on a new body part, no way. The manufacturer says, yeah, paint right over it, but I think no. I think we're doing this the right way. And you don't want all your scratches in one direction either. So this is 320. It's a little coarse. I wouldn't want to really paint something after using 320. Probably 600. But this is getting primered and then it's getting bed liner. So not quite the same as painting. We'll put some crisscross scratches in there. Make sure we get the edges. Yeah, that's pretty stuffed up. They'll never take these back on return then. Not that I need to send them back. One thing I do need to do is I need to get that car out of the garage though, because I don't know what the overspray is going to be like on this. And you definitely, anything you can take out of there before spraying is one less thing you have to fix from all the overspray. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to wash them with the degreaser. Let them dry out here. Go inside and touch up the corners and spots that I may have missed yesterday when sanding the bed down. And then, so I want to spray where these mount. Let that dry. Put the, probably should use panel bond, but I'm using, I'll show you what I'm using here in a minute. Matter of fact, let me go get it before I forget. So this is brushable seam sealer. I got this off of Amazon, I'm pretty sure. Barrier Bond is the name of it. Brushable seam sealer. So once I get a coat of primer on the areas that I put the patches, then I will put, I'm going to read the directions on this. Maybe excellent adhesion and is ideal for sealing lap and flange seams and joints. For automotive use only. Ensure surfaces are clean and free of all dirt, oil, and grease. Painted surfaces should be lightly scuffed. Briefly stir the sealant and apply with a putty knife or spreader immediately. And immediately feather it with a putty knife or brush. Remove excess sealant with solvent. All right, well, I have to wipe everything down with solvent, so I don't want to have this on there. All right, I'm going to think about this for a minute. I don't want to put seam sealer over all of the bare area. The self-etching primer should go on first. Then I'll put these guys on after I've wiped them, washed them, and then wipe them down with the paint thinner. I'll have wiped down all of the bed sides with the paint thinner, and first of all washed it for the third time with the water-based grease and wax remover. Then with the paint thinner, then spray a little bit of primer, let it dry. I think the primer only takes 10 minutes to dry. Then we'll put on the seam sealer, bolt these things up, wipe it all down again, and then finish spraying the whole thing with the primer. Let that dry, and then the bed liner. So that's going to be the process. Hopefully I'll be able to get a little bit of video of that, depending on what the overspray situation looks like, and we'll go from there. Thanks for watching, guys. All right. Let's go in here and see what parts I might have missed, what I didn't notice last night, as I was pretty worn out by the time I was done with all this sanding. Basically all I need to do is stuff it up. But what I did do is areas where stuff was coming off easily, I just took it all off. Probably shouldn't start in the middle. Should start at one end and work our way around. forgot to let the air out of it last night. You want to take the air out of your compressor every day, especially around here, simply because the condensation that builds up there is significant. The water will rust your tank will become weak, and one day it just go boom, and hopefully you're not standing next to it. Doing just what I did. I'm going to wash it down with the water base. I'm going to bring the two inner fenders or the wheel wells in here. I'm going to wash them down with the water base, turn on the fan, let everything dry, wipe everything down with paint thinner, and then we'll set up our spray, and that's when I'll bring you guys back. See you in a minute. Or about a second in video time. All right, so we got some of the masking done. Everything's been cleaned off real well. This is going to get a little bit of primer. And then after I prime it, it's going to be masked off again because I don't want the bed liner up on there or up on this lip edge over here. So that's all going to get masked off. Probably just with some tape because I'm pretty much out of paper. Didn't plan ahead for that. So there we go. It's all masked off, ready to go. Wipe down with some paint thinner, and then she's ready to spray. These guys too. And then I'll bring you back when it's time to put everything back together. Well, together, I should say, when I go to put the fender wells on. We'll come back, show you the little spray job that I did, and glue those suckers on. All right, everything is prepped, ready to go. And what we're going to do now is get our paint ready. This will be primer. And I've pretty much set everything up. We're just going to pour in a little primer. I've been mixing this for quite a while. Shook it up. There was still some sediment on the bottom. Always stir your paint. Always stir the paint, because there's always sediment on the bottom. If you're shaking it by hand, there's always sediment at the bottom, and that's where the goodness is. All right, filter, little paint. And I believe that will be more than enough. That's a half. That's about half this can, which is a quart. I am going to wear goggles, simply because I don't want my glasses ending up with a gray tint more than they already have. Okay. And there we go. Let's bring you along here. See if we can get you set up to where I don't get any overspray on the camera. I believe that's where we want to be. We'll see in a minute. Light coats is a lot better than one head. Alright, so here we are. We have the fender wells installed with the seam sealer. That might not be the right stuff to use, but it's what I used. The way these things are molded and pressed, the metal that attaches to the bedside is not smooth. And I saw where there would probably be a lot of opportunity for water to get in and set in there, so I packed some seam sealer in there. It's all going to get sprayed now with bed liner. So stay tuned. All right, everybody, welcome back to Auto Auction Rehabs, where today we are putting bed liner in the bed. Welcome to my mixing booth. Yeah. You're sitting on top of my Blueprint engine. Think yourselves lucky, huh? All right. Enough frivolity. Let's see what we got here. Opening this up for the first time. Okay, second time. I just looked at it. This is the first time taking it out of the package. I'm guessing this goes in here, because this will go on top of here. This is going to be a bear to clean. I can already tell that. Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's real good. I'm thinking a little shot of WD or something in this valve. I don't know, that might not be a good idea. Well, it does have a little bit of adjustment. Probably ought to read the instructions. I'm just saying. So we have a pressure gauge here. And no, I'm not going to use Teflon tape, because it's going to get used today and put away. I might want to tighten that up a little bit more. So here's the valve for allowing the air through. And let's see if we have instructions on the box. Rated pressure 45 to 125 120 psi, maximum pressure 150. Air pressure regulator included. No instructions. Adjustable nozzle and comfort grip trigger. Okay. Well, we want to be comfortable while we're doing this, that's for sure. Now, one thing that the Raptor bed liner did not come with is a measuring cup. It does say to use a measuring cup included in the kit, but it's not included in the kit unless what they're saying is fill to this line. And I don't know. It just says fill, shake, shoot. I mean, seriously, if you're doing this, you probably don't need instructions. However, you can scan this code or visit raptorcoatings.com for step-by-step demo videos. I might just do that. Let's see what happens when I grab my phone, scan that code, and see if it tells me, yep, you're supposed to fill it to this line, which would be great because then I don't need to waste a cup. I've only got about 10 of those and I've got a big truck to paint. So we'll be right back. All right, Raptor people, you forgot the measuring cup. No worries, I have one. But just so you know, this kit came without a measuring cup. Anyhow, what it says to do is add 8 ounces. There's 32 ounces in here. It says to add 8.5, which means you need 34 ounces, but this only has 32. That's 2 ounces. And 2 ounces is actually quite a bit. So we'll put 8 ounces in our measuring cup, plus or minus 10% due to common error. We'll pour 8 ounces in here. Okay, I believe that's 8 ounces. Put the lid on so we don't lose any. I am prone to spilling. And then we pour the 8 ounces in here very carefully. Ooh, that's strong. And then I'm going to take a look inside and see. Yeah, it's about up to that line. It's actually just a touch above that line. We'll use a measuring cup just to be sure, and then that way if there's problems, we can say we did it correctly. So we need to shake this for 2 minutes. After 2 minutes or so, we'll be right back. All right, we are ready to try this out. I can get my behind under there without killing myself. So, here's our Raptor cocktail. Shaken, not stirred. A good 5 minutes. So, I did watch a couple videos. And I'm hoping this goes as well as it did in the video. We'll see. So basically you just screw the bottle into the bottom of the spray gun. And different textures, different pressures, different nozzle settings. So I'm going to give it a try on this cardboard. And this cardboard is also going to take up some of my overspray, I hope, because I really don't want it on the floor. It says to use 50. That's at 80. Well, let's see. decided that I wanted a very coarse texture, and I'm glad I decided that because that's what I got. It's a pretty coarse texture. And that's what I wanted, so it works out good. I can see where it would be very difficult, maybe a little bit more difficult to get a finer texture. Looks like I'm probably going to go through I'll probably go through 3 of the 4 cans on this wood bed, long bed, truck bed. So if you're looking at doing yours and you have a metal bed floor, I'd go with 6. You're going to need 6. Yes, it's pretty thick. That's what I wanted. It might thin out a little bit as it dries. It looks like that's what's going on. This is going to look really cool. This is going to look really cool. I'm liking it. All right, let me mix up another one. I'll spray that out and bring you guys back when we're done.